Alright, just boiling Falcha, Curro of a leg. Let's check the Mahanshore and Druck last year. Just want to welcome everybody for being here today and making the effort onto this treacherous weather, I suppose. It's on a more dusa, le parchak, listen, Okaid Shaw, our son, Jackie Connolly. It's a great honour for me to be involved in this wonderful event today to officially launch the new plaque being on Connolly House here. See, it's great to see so many different people here, political representatives, Sinn Féin staff, members of the public, local activists, old people. I don't mean old people, ex-workers of Connolly House, people who have been associated with Connolly House for many years. Good to see us all back here today. We're also pleased and delighted here that we have the party president here, Gerry Adams. Agus Tasulagun Kavalche, Abalda, and Alright Siga, Naska Yanu, either Ubbery Connolly, Naha Blano Henamal Firstja, Agus a number of Tack Gullah Rest, Ian Shaw, and you, our service on Dunfubble. So just hope. Big welcome for Gerry Adams, and I just hope that he can make some links and some connections to the work of Connolly in the city of Belfast 90 years ago, and the work, of course, that's going on here today. And I hope I haven't preempted what he's going to say. So, just a big hand for the party president, Gerry Adams. I
have a 40-minute speech. Is all ready? Hunker down. Okay, so George Craving go Wills. Goroshe Han Sasta Skiafta More Marshall Echo or on Druck Law. The law or be Druck. Ahan Law Galanta. I should get a Bjork need say Druck. So I'm very pleased to be here with you all. I want to congratulate and commiserate with Queeving on his recent elevation. And let me see. James Connolly was a Republican, he was a trade union leader, he was a socialist, he was a Falls Road resident, lived there, as many of you will know, just at the bottom of the White Rock Road in what's now a dentist surgery. And he actively worked particularly with what he called the linen slaves of Belfast, and that's the mill workers. Most people here, most Belfast people here, of my age or maybe slightly younger, our grandmothers would have been half-timers. That is, all of the little schools there, like the Louis Street School and all the other wee schools, were set up to educate the working poor of Belfast. And the half-timers worked one day and went to school the other day. And Connolly described them, I think, very well. This is a time when the mills were the economic backbone of this city, and when this city was the premier city on the island. Many Belfast mills are slaughterhouses for the women and penitentiaries for the children. Spinning is a skilled trade requiring a long apprenticeship, alert brains and nimble fingers. Yet for all this skill, for all these weary years of learning, for all this toil and superheated heated atmosphere, with clothes drenched with water and hands torn and lacerated as a consequence of the speeding up of the machinery, a qualified spinner in Belfast receives a wage less than some of our past mill owners would spend weekly upon a dog. That gives you some sense of what, just 80 years ago, 90 years ago, what people in this part of the city and other parts of the city had to endure. He was avowedly anti-sectarian, and I think there's more work being done, and certainly in my lifetime, by our councillors, elected reps, community activists, MLAs, to work with people from unionist working class backgrounds. And Connolly understood how sectarianism is used as a tool to divide people artificially and to protect what were the class interests of unionism. And of course he was implacably opposed to partition. In 1914, some years before partition, he predicted that partition would mean a carnival of reaction, both north and south, would set back the wheels of progress, would destroy the oncoming unity of the Irish labour movement and paralyse all advanced movements while it endured. To it, he said, Labour must give its bitterest opposition. Against it, Labour and Ulster should fight, even to the death if necessary. So, I mean, the prophecy of those words, partition came with a civil war in the south and a civil war in the north, and continuous political upheaval on this part of the island and at times across the island ever since. In 1916, he actually left the Falls Road on Good Friday to go to Dublin. And there's a photograph of one of his daughters standing beside one of the trees outside that house, and you can see the tree's only a small sapling, but it just gives you some sense again of the living history of the place that we live in. Pearse described him during the Rising as the guiding brain of our resistance. But I think that his greatest legacy is the proclamation. Now others obviously had a hand in it, and Pearse most notably, I suppose, and Kathleen Clarke, who was the wife of Thomas Clarke, also played a very big role in drafting the proclamation. But I think Connolly's vision has just percolated throughout it all. So that's if anybody asks you what Sinn Féin stands for, we stand for the proclamation. We stand for all of its elements, and that's our mission statement for this 21st century. And when we came, I think, in '83 to name this place, it was almost natural that it was named Connolly House. I'm sorry we didn't call it Shocky Connolly, because that would have went into the vernacular if we had used that term, same as we talk about the Culterland and Clonard and so on. It's been at the heart of the constituency activity here. It has been attacked by British Army, by the IUC, by Unionist paramilitaries. A number of people were shot and wounded, and many of us were here the day that there was an assault on a very peaceful demonstration, and when Sean Downs was killed just feet from us, just over here. It was also the rallying point for marches. It was here that people gathered after the announcement of the army cessation in '94. I think it's also useful in all of that time. It marks the progress we've made politically, both in terms of the service that it provides for citizens in this constituency, but also, I mean, it's evident in the current negotiations between ourselves, the Brits and the DUP, and it's been refurbished to make it more pleasant. I don't know just how pleasant it is to work in, but to make it slightly better than it was before. So I want to commend all of the work of all of the people involved in all of this. I also want to commend the work being done by the Andersonstown and Riverdale Commemoration Committee, who have been putting up plaques and refurbishing plaques and memorials in this area, including around at the PD and at the Shaws Road. And they're working at this time for a memorial in Riverdale itself. So Shaw and Plaque, want to give a hand, Rosie? Good night.
Hi Sinn. It's just one other wee point that we'd asked to mention as well, associated with today's thing, is the plaque over here in the corner. It's a plaque letting people know that this was that our rule of honour had been destroyed by criminal elements, I suppose, I think 6 months ago, maybe now, and all efforts were made to piece the pieces back together again. I say, and it's about a message we're sending out to these people that are trying to hamper our work. And it's clear that we're continuing to carry on our work and the good services that offices such as Connolly House provide throughout the length and breadth of the country. So big bullet bust to all those involved in that episode as well. Thank you.
Dead on.